No runs are coming, Steiny.
888-957-9570 is the number. Warriors, that's their most impressive win of the year, right? It's got to be.
Yep.
I guess the Phoenix win was nice, but Milwaukee is one of the best teams in the East. They came in here with all their guys but Middleton's not around very much anymore.
Boy.
So, that's what that is. I think the other thing is, now I know the Warriors had won 13 of 17 coming in, but if they start rolling and they make a run, that's the game I think we're going to look back on. And then we'll say, they were playing well before that game. Yes, they were, but that's so far been their signature win of the season.
Well, I was going to give you, speaking of Twitter, you put out a tweet last night, Sonny. I saw it, and you are right. And anybody that backs you up or feels that way, no, you said this team, obviously they're coming off a loss in Boston, still has momentum. And you are right. So I will not fight you on this was the best one of the season as far as record-wise, but Steiny, you are right. They had been hot, and you only play who's in front of you.
Well, the other thing, too, is the other reason it makes it a big win is because they lost to Boston like they did. So they came back. They lost by 50. They won by 30. All right. Now the Bulls come in. Now I look at this game tonight, and I said this to you guys.
We'll be there, both of us.
Yeah. I look at this game tonight, and maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like, so the Bulls played last night in Salt Lake City. If you look at their starters, they all played somebody played over 40 minutes. Might have been DeRozan. But they all played in the high 30s.
All
right. So what I think, as I look into my magic 8-ball, I think the Bulls, who have already won 2 games on this trip, whether they like it or not, they got to approach tonight's game almost like the Warriors approached Boston. So I think tonight.
So it's Warriors minus 7.5. You telling the bettors out there, prize picks coming up at 11:50.
I'm not telling anybody anything.
The Warriors are rolling right now.
I like the way the Warriors are playing. I like that the Bulls are coming in on a back-to-back. Salt Lake City, that's a tough one. It's not an easy back-to-back for them. 888-957-9570 is the number. I mean, this will be a fun show today. What was the best part about last night? What's the best part about last night? And I'll tell you what mine is, or mine was, because I started thinking about this. And I don't mean to be, I don't think it's controversial. I think Steve Kerr's doing a hell of a job. I really think Steve Kerr's doing a hell of a job. The more I thought about it, there's a couple things I just want to bring up. One is, okay, he's got 10 or 11 players, and 6 or 7 of them are the same, and it's not easy to pick who needs to play on a certain night and when a guy needs to go in and when a guy needs to go out. Draymond suspended, Chris Paul out, so they've finally gotten whole. But the other thing that he's got to deal with is, in a way, every stretch of games, he's got to assess where the team is, not just this year, but for the future. Like when they were 19 and 24, he's got to start thinking, well, what if we're not going to be a good team? Then I might have to start doing this. I think he's got to coach differently because he's got to serve the immediate future and the future a year from now. And I'm starting to really appreciate the fact that it seems like he's integrating both. In other words, all the 4 young guys, including Kuminga, they're taking more and more of a role, but the team's still winning. Like, that's not easy to do. He's also got to manage the delicate egos of the franchise players. Look what he did with Clay. It wasn't smooth. Maybe could have gone a little more smooth, but now Clay's coming off the bench and he looks like he's into it and he's accepting it. So Steve Kerr was a guy that I just started thinking about today. I'm like, I think he's having a hell of a year.
Yeah. And he got his 17.5 over for $35 million that he deserves to make him the highest paid coach. But I will say this. I love Kerr. He'll be on, I believe, with Dibbs and Willard tomorrow, Steiny, hopefully coming off 2 straight wins at home. But to your point, why I marvel at him more is I think, and you correct me tell me if you disagree here, I don't think he did anything for the future. He showed us that he went with the old formula. We get it. He stayed with the old formula, thinking it was the right thing to do. But Steiny, I guess all in all, and what I'm trying to say is it took guts for him to trust Pods and go back to Moody and give Kuminga more run. So from that vantage point, it's worked out. Now you're TJD, and he's telling you after the games, I need to find Steiny more minutes. I mean, that goes a long way. And you asked a question, I'm going to give you my answer. You said it was Kerr for you. Mm-hmm. I feel that. But I am looking at you and talking to Dub Nation right now and excited. Me and my oldest son, Donovan, will be at the game today. Nobody asked. We get to watch the Warriors' new big man. And I think his name is Trace Jackson Davis. Now, I'm not telling you he's Lou Alcindor. He doesn't need to be. But what I can tell you is, Steiny, he can block shots. He can catch a lob. And now I see Steph and CP3 thinking they got JaVale McGee or a new toy. But the toy is, it could bring pain. It could bring thunder. He blocked Giannis twice. And that was everything. The building was electric. I'm telling you, I was nervous and poured a drink when it got to 6 because I was like, oh, my gosh, here we go. But Trace Jackson Davis, Steiny, they don't have one of him.
Antetokounmpo driving in on Jackson Davis. Goes a block by Jackson Davis. He roofed him. Loose ball. He has blocked again by the rookie. Paul comes out of the pack with it. Down the right sideline. The crowd roars its approval. Curry dribbles around Giannis to the rim. Lob. Jackson Davis for the dunk. A no-look lob by Curry. Slams it down. Doc Rivers has to stop the noise.
He roofed him. I've never heard that, Spadoni.
No, that's a newer term.
Is that a newer term?
Kevin Dana rubbing off a little bit on Tim Roy?
It's coming into the lexicon, roofed. It's when it's not when you're blocking a shot up high. It's just when guy goes up and you're behind him.
I'll tell you this about TJD. And you told us that, I believe you said you've never dunked in a game.
No.
I haven't picked up. That don't qualify. But do you know what that feeling or adrenaline must be to block a shot on one end, run down the other, and then catch a lob on the other end? Come on, man. It doesn't get better than that.
It was a great sequence for the young man out of Indiana, Trace Jackson Davis. 888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny and Guru with you. Warriors 14-4 over their last 18. Another one tonight against the Chicago Bulls, who played in Salt Lake City. It's setting up nicely, but you got to execute and you got to win the game still tonight against that team. But right now, the Warriors are playing very good basketball. They look like they're playing good, getting better. And what was the best part about last night's game?
Good question.
I mean, to me, it was just, it was, I know it got down to 6, but I did not think they were losing that game.
Oh, so you didn't have that feeling?
No, I didn't. I didn't, because they were just, they were
faster.
They were just outplaying Milwaukee in every facet.
Well,
they had a better game plan, it felt like.
Brook Lopez was a 0. What's the other starting guard? The guy that could shoot threes for Milwaukee that had a bad game last night. No, I like him. The other brother I like. What's his name? He's shooting like 43% from the three-point line this year. He was in the starting lineup. No. Boy. What's my boy's name? He starts, Steiny.
I was locked in on the.
I'll get you his name.
You know what? Somebody else. Who's going to be first up in the podcast business?
I almost don't even want to answer.
Not Bobby Portis.
No.
Yeah. Who's going to be the first one? Malik Beasley. There you go. Chris M. Thank you, Chris M. on the YouTube chat. I'm looking at, they had a poll up this morning. Not that kind of poll. They had a poll up this morning of, do you believe, what does it say? Do you believe this Warriors team can make a run to the finals?
Stop.
70, I didn't push that button. 72% say yes.
And this ain't all me, Guru's answering. With what happened with Minnesota,
right?
What's happening with the Lakers, and I know they're getting some guys back. Steiny, my vote is yes, man. I didn't feel good Sunday. I didn't like it. I didn't like any of it, but I'm back.
You know what? So the poll says, do you believe the Warriors can win a championship? Yes or no? You know what I'm doing? I'm not answering.
I thought it said make a run.
No, it said win it all, I believe.
Oh, well, now I got to hit reverse.
Well, I'm not taking it. Because I'm not.
That's what you do. You're the fifth guy.
Right. That's right.
8th best odds to win the championship right now.
8th?
Yeah.
Who's in front of him, if you don't mind?
Well,
you got... Yeah, well, we did this earlier. We did this exact same thing earlier.
Never mind. Boston's got to be above them.
Yeah, Boston's
Denver.
Denver's above
Miami?
No.
Oh.
Miami? They stink. The Clippers.
Correct.
The T-Wolves.
Correct.
I'll bet Oklahoma City's ahead of them.
Yep.
Who's the second best team in the East? That is it Milwaukee?
Yes, Milwaukee.
That's 6.
Phoenix?
Yep. That was the difficult one, the Phoenix one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So not
Phoenix
Dallas, though.
Denver.
Not Dallas.
So the Warriors
Dallas is right behind the Warriors.
So the Warriors are behind Dallas, but their odds to win it all are better, according to Vegas. Did we get everybody?
I think so.
I think we hit
7,
everybody.
right? Hit
And
7.
this-
There's only 2 teams in the East? What about
Correct.
Cleveland? Not
Nope,
Cleveland?
Not Cleveland.
Wow.
Nice.
And this Karl Anthony Towns, I don't know where it's going. I hope he's healthy, but Steiny is somehow, I know Naz Reid is a baller. He'll be up there, so they won't fall apart. But if you do not have Karl Anthony Towns in a 7-game series,
Yeah, they're trying.
I mean, are the Warriors looking like, hey, we want to hook up with Ant-Man and go pair?
Well,
I would want that for the Warriors. Before I'd be like, I don't want Minnesota.
There is a part of me that will never die. And I'm listening to the morning show, and they were great. I'm not assuming the playoffs, even though they just had their best win of the year. They're still 9th. They've got to stay healthy. They have to stay healthy. There's no doubt about it. They have to keep playing well. But now, clearly, the ability for them to move up in the standings exists. But they still got to do it. Yeah. They got to do it.
But look at that schedule, Steiny. They got some bunnies. Yeah, I know you'll probably say, hey, Goo, they're not in position to call anybody bunny.
But they also have some bunnies. They also have some games they got to win.
And you just told me your boy's out tonight.
Who?
Wemby against Sacramento.
Hurt his ankle.
So he may not play Saturday.
We'll see.
And Monday.
You know, it's just,
dude, the stars are aligning.
I think Joe Spadoni and I both know that Greg Popovich will hold Wemby out so as to aid Steve Kerr and the Warriors.
Take the over on the Jamari Bouye props.
There your boy.
High school, baby.
Monterey's finest.
All right, something has come across the text line that I got to address. All right.
If it's negative,
it's not negative. It's just a clarification. Right. The term is roofed, not roofied. That's completely different.
He said roofed. I said roofie is a drug.
Exactly. Yeah, roof is when you block a guy, you kind of smother him. Usually I envision it from the back.
But I've never heard it in a basketball game.
I have. It's been coming into parlance. You heard it?
That's the first time I've heard it.
It's been coming into parlance a little bit. Yeah. Let's go to Bobby. Bobby's in Los Altos. What's up, Bobby? How you doing, man?
Hey, fellas. Thanks for taking my call.
Sure.
I think the best thing to take away from that game last night is the fact that we have confidence that we could beat any team in the West. I mean, over 7 games, who knows? But I think it just shows that they have the capability of pipe dream that they could beat any team. Now, Chicago played a tough game.
Bobby, you got to call back. Bobby, you got to call back. We're losing you. Yep. No, and that's the thing. And listen, Jimmy Cliff, there's many rivers to cross here. But can they beat any team? Yes. You know, can they do it in a 7-game series? You know, that's what we'll eventually find out. But, yeah, can they sustain this? They've sustained it for 18 games. 888-957-9570 is the number. Warriors win by 30. Plus.
Damn. First time in NBA history a team's lost by 50, came back and won by 30.
How do you like the way they bounced back from the Boston game, people? Man. Come on now. See, that's why...
I don't even remember the Boston game.
That's why the NBA is just a little different. And people don't like it, but the reality of the situation is that Steph, Clay, and Draymond have played together for 10, 12 years. They know what they have. And they knew Sunday was going to be tough. And they got swamped early, and they waved the white flag.
Oh, my God.
But you could tell after the game, they did not – they knew they for whatever reason, they hadn't put their heart and soul in it. And a lot of it, I'm sorry, is the schedule, the way the game fell, national TV early in the day.
Boston played well, though.
Boston was great.
Okay. All right.
Boston was great.
We buried the lead, Steiny.
How so?
Curry made a 3.
Okay.
There was a timeout.
All right.
And he acted like he was hitting a golf ball.
Saw that.
He was talking to the show because we talked about would he golf or not. Everybody's on it, garbage man. Like, he hears everything. He told us that. See, can we hear that, Spadoni? I hear Curry. I hear everything.
Oh.
He was letting us know.
You think?
Guru, I'm golfing. That's how I took it.
Oh, my gosh.
Dude, my mentions blew up. You didn't.
I know everything.
You didn't.
Well, I know everything too,
He
Steph.
was home, Steiny, yesterday. We talked about Guru.
I know everything too, Steph. He did golf. That's all I'll say.
When we see him,
all
I'll ask him. I know when the chefs communicate with me, Steiny. I know it.
That wasn't the first swing he took this week. Put it that way.
He was thinking of us.
Now that I don't know.
Why would he do that? He was letting them know. And Goo, I ain't tripping. Steiny was right.
You can ask him tonight. You're going to be out there.
Yeah, but when we sit down with him.
888-957-9570 is the number. Steiny and Guru with you.
Yeah. Warriors are
be
back, Jack.
They are for now. There's no doubt about it. There's no doubt about it. They're 9. What's that?
6 seed? Not off the
Who's
table.
At 6 right now. See, I think
Phoenix?
I think Phoenix is going to
That was
start
a big
playing
win
better.
for Denver. I mean, for them over Denver
No
without
doubt.
Booker. So
No
I'm
doubt.
just saying.
And the way the Warriors are going to what they're going to need to do to climb up there is they're going to have to beat some good teams when they play them.
It's coming.
I mean, you're telling me they got 5 against Dallas and the Lakers?
Next Saturday in L.A.
That's going to largely determine how fast they can climb or how deliberate it's going to be.
You surprised that Willie Green has his Pelicans playing good ball, 12 over, and they're the 5th seed?
Well,
Do they scare you, I guess, what I'm at? The Pelicans in a 7-game series with all that youth. Well, I know McCollum has some experience, but man.
they're a good team. They've been pretty consistent
Yeah,
this year, to
they
tell you the
have.
truth. Zion's been healthy for the most part.
Got to give them credit.
So